friends of Mower Service and Repair. Welcome back to the shop. Sitting on a Husqvarna MZ 54 that needs a hydro fluid change, so we gotta warm up the hydros a little bit. And the one thing I haven't showed you guys yet is that the 4-foot shop apprentice, he likes to change mowers. Hey Rocky, you want to change the mower? Rocky, come here. Rocky. Get it! Get it, boy! So, I thought you guys would find that mildly entertaining. We got, as I said, the MZ 54 going up on the lift right now. This mower is run Clean Your Cameras. You would think I would learn. No, I don't. My neurodivergent brain? No way. Anyway, we got this unit is operated by a pair of Hydro Gear ZT3100s, if I remember the letters of the model number correct, but it is a 3100 model. We are about to get the fluids changed on her. Did I get them right? I did get them right. Look at me. I'm doing so well now. ZT3100s. And the nice thing about these are relatively easy to change the fluid on. I cleaned my front cameras, but not the back cameras. He just never learns. Sorry. Bugs Bunny comment from Space Jam. Well, who said you could drop your flame out, you little butt face? Anyway. So these are actually relatively easy to do the change on. In order to drain the fluid, hey Rocky, you pull off your filter cover here, unscrew your filter, and it just drains all out right there. Oh, let me show you how I do that. Eins und zwei. Some of these models actually have 3 bolts that hold these little covers on, but in this case we only have 1, so that is kind of nice. Usually there's one, and I'll show you once we get this off. Usually right here where there's a blank space, there's a hole for another one of these 10mm bolts to hold her on. And there you go. You pull that filter off and out all the fluid comes. Okay, gotta flip the jaws backwards so I can actually get a bite out of it. Must have been put on by someone who works at Jiffy Lube. Hand tight. That's all you need. Hand tight. Oh, there you go. You are draining. And obviously we got, I almost dropped the phone, the one on this side as well. So, drain this one out. As you can see, it's already starting to finish up. And there you go. That is how you drain it. We'll bring you back once this one's done. Got the old one off, on with the new. Rotary, darn good aftermarket brand of aftermarket parts, filters, what have you. Bunch of their stuff is made right here in the States, and this one is not one of them. This one is a Mexican style filter, but still, rotary filters are some of the absolute best in the business. I really like them, and so I'm gonna be using them. They make their giant shop packs of oil filter or of engine filters and etc. You can get like 24 in a pack for something like $80 or something like that if you're a dealer. Or you can get a lot for a very inexpensive price. Now they don't have any of the rotary logo or anything emblazoned on them. It's just, here, I'll show you. That's what they look like. They're pretty crude in their labeling, but I mean, that's all it be. Oil filter installation, lightly oil gasket tighten, 3/4 to 1 turn after gasket makes contact with base. Dispose of properly, made in Vietnam. I like Vietnam, Taiwanese, those kind of products, or the products made from those countries are generally speaking of a good high quality. Anytime I see something from those countries, I know I'm getting something that will actually do a very good job. I'm gonna take the old Hydro Gear brand, plop it in the fill funnel over here to drain, because my two buckets of my two 5-quart bottles that I use for receiving my waste oil, and then from there I go up into my 2 big 55-gallon holding tanks. From there they go into the waste oil heater. Pretty simple if you ask me. So let me bring you back once I'm actually filling. So now that we got those drained out and the filters tightened down, the next step is to prep the transaxles for filling. And here's one of my customers. Sorry about that. Customer come and pick up the X724 and the Hustler Raptor SD that they brought in for service. Anyway, getting back to this Husqvarna and these Hydro Gear transaxles to fill. There are a couple of things you'll want to do first. Obviously, put your new filters on once you're done draining. But secondly, you're going to want to come up in here. You'll see that bolt right there. It is bigger than the rest of its counterparts. That bolt is a vent bolt, and there is one on both transaxles right there on that guy. And what those are there for is those allow you to get the fluid into the transaxle a lot faster. Because if you were to just pour the hydraulic fluid into this tank back here without first pulling those vents out, it would take a long time to fill, because it would have to purge a bubble back up into the tank, let some oil down, purge a bubble up, let some oil down, and so on. This allows it to just go straight in and push the air out that vent. So, in order to do that, you want to grab yourself, ideally, one of these mechanics fidget spinners. I use the stubby version of mine. 11/16 is what you're going to go for. And I'm going to crack one of these loose, and I'll pull it out so you guys can see what it looks like. Well, here's the first one. So, this is what they look like, and you can see there's a little O-ring on there. Make sure you don't lose that. It's on there pretty good, so you shouldn't run the risk, or you shouldn't run too big a risk of that going anywhere. But sometimes you get engineers in this world, as you know from previous videos, how well I get along with engineers. You get stupid stuff like this. I did not notice it. That you are not seeing that. I can't even get my open end wrench in there. That gap is too narrow for me to get my open end wrench in there. So, guess who has to take off the tensioner pulley arm just to change the oil, or to fill the oil on this transaxle. Engineers, kindly pay attention. Serviceability. Make sure when you design one of these things that it is serviceable. And you don't need to add an entire hour's worth of labor into a service that only should take 2 hours. Because now I'm going to have to derail the belt, the drive belt. And then once that's derailed, I'm going to have to pull that arm off, just to fill the transaxle. If you want to see the rest of I'll make a part 2 on this one, because obviously we're getting towards the end of this one. But I do not like you, engineers. I'm going to leave my wordage right there. We are in the filling process right now. So I've already poured a quart down in here, and it is slowly working its way down into the transaxles. It is a slow process. I might even need to run and get some more 20W50 because I only had 3 quarts left, and I'm pretty sure I need 5 or 6 for the job I need to do. But here's the real pain. So here's the barking spider and the pivot point for where that belt tensioner, you can see my little wrench on it, where the belt tensioner was attached to. And I'm here, or I was down there trying to loosen the thing with my impact, and then all of a sudden I felt it just free spin. No resistance at all. It's like, it's a bolt. Engineers, come on. I told you, serviceability. Just throw a tack weld on it. It does not need to be more than that. Something that will hold the bolt so we don't have to argue with it. This is absolutely absurd that I am having to fight and fight and fight just to do a simple hydro fluid change. This is absolutely absurd, and I don't need to be doing this. And you shouldn't have put that tensioner in the way of my job anyway. So there's that. Time to go in with quart number 2. So whilst we're letting that little tank empty, I'll point out to what so that little hole up top now, you can see where the bolt is. A hole up there is where the oil will start dripping out of, or flowing out of. Focus. Let's see, can I get a better angulation? No, I can't. Dang it. Nah, not happening. So, that hole up there, that is where the oil will start flowing out of once you are full on both, or on your respective transaxle. So, you basically just start filling from up here, and in this case, you fill it till you spill it, just like a slant cylinder engine. And excuse me. And basically, once you put the little plugs back into the vent holes there, that will seal them and allow you to fill up this little reservoir up here to this line, which it is kind of hard to see on the phone, but it has got the word cold, or full cold on it. So that's the most full you want to have this little reservoir when the hydros are cold, because, well, you want a little space. Much like a radiator, you want space for expansion in there. So I'm gonna finish pouring fluid in here, and hopefully I got enough to have these 2 filled. We'll bring you right back. Well, we got 1 of 2 plugged. That one's put back in. You can see it's dribbled all over the place because I thought it still needed a fair bit more, but we still got the other one to put in, so let's add a little bit more. Shouldn't need a whole lot, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add about, we're going to start with about a quarter of a quart. A quarter of a quart, if you're from central, or if you're from a certain part of St. Louis. So we'll go about half this tank full. I think that ought to be the right amount. I'll lay down here. Oh gosh, get my plug. And wait. And wait. And wait some more. Bring you right back when we're actually spitting out the side there. Well, while we wait, 20W50 is rather thick oil. Yes, it's been about 5 minutes since I said that I'd bring you back, and we still don't have any oil in there yet. I'm going to check the reservoir up top, see if we haven't drained it all out. Well, not quite. Still got about half a reservoir and a barking spider in there, so. Spilling yet? Not yet. A little bit more. There it is. That's what it'll look like. Well, again, another prime example of engineers being absolutely stupid. I had to contort myself in about 5 different pretzels to get that plug in there because I can't get my meat hook of a hand between the clutch here and the transaxle. And I have to work on this machine low to the ground because I need to be able to pour the fluid in there. I hate engineers. Absolutely hate you guys. You genuinely need to service the machine that you design before releasing it. Because then you might consider redesigning it. And actually making it serviceable in a way that makes sense. Not this absurdity that has me swearing like a sailor. Thank you for absolutely nothing, engineers. You guys are such pests. So I'll bring you back when it's the final step of changing the hydro fluid on these guys. Well, as you can tell, the day is the morrow, and I never got around to telling you guys how to do the purge on these hydros. So what you'll do is you'll start your engine running once you have your belt re-railed and everything. You're going to jack up one side of the mower at a time, and you're going to sit on the machine like you normally would so that the safety switches and everything are satisfied. But you'll take the parking brake off, push the lever all the way forward for about 30 seconds, and then pull it backwards for 30 seconds. And repeat, forward 30 seconds, backwards 30 seconds. Then once that's done, lower it, jack up the other side, and repeat that process. Usually you only have to do it at an idle, but usually that is enough to get all of the air pockets purged out of the system before you actually, before you actually run the mower at full flight. Did this yesterday. This mower's running around great, and it's ready to go home. That's what I got for you. Thanks so much for watching this series. If you got any questions about how to do this, please down below me in the doobly-doo. Be happy to answer them. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.